Good evening, listeners. This is Juicy Pat Lucy, and you're listening to episode 14 of the Juicy Details. And with me is not the Juice JT Dunn, because he is doing better things. And I'm not even sarcastically saying that. He really is doing better things. I mean, a podcast with me? Come on, who would want to do that? Right, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We have a guest today. Luckily. He's coming all the way from the United Kingdom in England. Or England and United... No, I never actually understand that.
Yeah, it's all good. England will do.
Yeah, England. Okay, whatever. But please welcome Big Ben Ward.
Yeah. How you doing, Pat? You all good?
I mean, I've been better, but, you know, I'm good for now. I'm here.
Yeah, it's 10 past midnight here, so...
Yes, indeed. And right now it's 7 o'clock here in Cleveland, but it's midnight in England.
Sunny Cleveland.
Oh, God. Right now the weather in Cleveland is it might as well be Greenland, because it's covered in snow, I swear to God.
No, we haven't had any snow here yet, but it's cold as hell and the weather sucks, but, you know, it's England, so it's nothing new.
I'll take your word for it. So, well, Ben, let's get right into the interview. For people who don't know you, well, my first question is like any other question I have for anyone on here, and that is, how did you first become a fan of professional wrestling?
Probably much the same story as everyone else, really. Just obviously seen it on TV at some point when I was young, and I don't know, I guess people being hit with chairs and stuff must have appealed to 8-year-old me, or however old I was when I first saw it, so.
I'll give you that. Were you always more a WWF kid growing up, or WCW?
I mean, I saw WWE first. It probably would have been like Ministry of Darkness, Undertaker sort of era that I first saw, but we actually had WCW for like free on TV in England, whereas WWE was like on like the premium cable channel, so it was kind of easier to watch WCW when I was younger.
Does that mean WCW was more popular than WWF back then?
Not so much. I mean, it was on a like channel that sucked. It's just it was on a channel that was free on a Friday night. So,
because I mean, I know, like today, yeah, TNA on free television over there. WWE's still on a paid channel, and it seems like TNA is like just as popular as WWE over there, or maybe even more.
I mean, the viewing figures I think are as good for TNA as they are for WWE. Popularity, I'm not sure people could really say it's still, you know, it's not hit that level yet. The WWE's on, but
yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. Yeah, I mean, WWE has been around much longer, so obviously.
I mean, they run the same arenas now.
Yeah, that's true, and
which is a very big deal because TNA, you know, they can't fill anywhere in the United States without giving away tickets. Yeah, they come to England and they'll sell 10,000 tickets and set out Wembley Arena, so.
Yeah, I swear to God, when they came in Cleveland, there was no more than 1,500 in the arena for the Impact taping, and I swear to God, like a third of them were comps.
Yeah, and like half the arena was taped off. I saw the pictures of it.
And now, next January, they're running high school gyms.
Yeah, I mean, did they have EC3 then? Maybe that would have made a difference in Cleveland. He'd have sold the place out.
Good point. Actually, he was in a pre-show match against,
oh, right. Yeah.
Jade Bradley.
If they'd have advertised him, maybe
yeah.
would have...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Him versus Tim Dongs.
Yeah, that would have sold out the Wolstein Center.
Sold out Turner's Hall.
Yep, it did. Twice.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, so, my next question is, for someone like me, who doesn't know much about the, independent wrestling scene over there in England, can you go into the details of it, or maybe, like, how you first discovered it, and then what's it like today?
Okay, I mean, I probably discovered it a little differently to how most other people would. You know, most other people would see like an all-star show running at their sort of local theatre, maybe advertised in the newspaper or something like that. But I actually, when I first started attending indie shows, the way I saw it, was I actually saw a load of Big Japan guys advertised. I've been watching a lot of death matches, and I saw some Big Japan guys advertised for a show in Wolverhampton called Fight Club Pro. So I just decided that I was going to get the train up on my own and do whatever I could to go and see Yuko Miyamoto.
Now, are there any independent organizations in your immediate area, or do you always have to travel out like a couple hours to see them?
There's one that's like 5 minutes from my house. It's mostly, you know, local guys, like guys I'd see around town. But there's a few guys they bring in, like Pete Dunne, who's, you know, obviously you know from AIW, so that's pretty cool.
And, well, let's get more further depth into the England independent scene. I mean, who, in your opinion, are some of the breakout stars, some of the brightest stars on the independent scene over there? Maybe someone, like, that should be traveling over to the United States for an extended period of time, like Pete Dunne did, and Mark Andrews, any of them, like, you think are kind of underrated?
I mean, there's guys everywhere. It depends what you're into. I mean, yeah, there's guys like Dave Mastiff, who's like a great big huge dude, you know, wrestled like Michael Elgin and those type of people over here and had incredible matches, and I'm sure he could go over to the States and do the same. But I mean, it's hard for British people to go over to America. It's not the same as, you know, it happening the other way. It's not the same as an American coming over to England. There's Grado. Grado needs to go to America as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot of demand for him coming over to America, and that video you showed me with him and Colt Cabana in the opening of that one show was it was crazy.
Yeah, it's like there's 1,000 people there.
I mean, what do you say, like, it's usually that type of atmosphere for most independent shows over there in England? Like, are there any, like, PG family shows over there, or is it, like, maybe,
oh, yeah, I mean,
like,
most of them are like, your average family PG show. I have to say I do prefer the ones where it tends to get crazy. ICW in particular, I mean, you know, they run in nightclubs, they draw 700 people on a Sunday night at worst, which is insane for an independent company.
Now, what do you say you're more of a fan of independent wrestling over there in England, or are you more of a fan of it in the U.S.?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably more into the stuff in the States.
I mean, like, what draws you into the States that's different from England?
I don't know. I mean, I could probably count the promotions that I'm really into on like one hand in the United States, but, you know, the same situation in England. I mean, I don't know. I think the overall standard is still way better in America than we have in England at the moment. Or in the UK.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Now, most people might know you as more of a fan of women's professional wrestling. I know that's how I first met you, when you first flew over to Cleveland, Ohio for a women's professional wrestling show in Turner's Hall in Cleveland, Ohio. So I want to know more about how you became a fan of women's professional wrestling at first, and then how it just evolved over time, where you're just traveling to the United States for shows in Chicago and Cleveland, in New Jersey for these women's shows.
Okay, well, the first stuff I would have seen was probably IWA Mid-South Volcano Girls, which was run by Dave Prazak, and I guess was like the precursor to Shimmer. I basically, when I started working full time, I had a bunch of money that I'd never had before, and I just started sort of getting into the American indie stuff, so I'd just buy stuff continually from Smart Mark Video. And yeah, I guess I picked up one of the Volcano Girls DVDs one day, and so I mean the first people I would have seen was like Mickey Knuckles, Sarah Del Rey, Daisy Hayes.
And what do you say it was because of women like that drew you into the independent women's wrestling scene, where you just dug further and further to find some of the best women's wrestlers in professional wrestling?
Yeah, I mean the first stuff I really would have seen was probably Mickey Knuckles actually like wrestling dudes in death matches, but.
And then, I mean,
I guess
yeah.
that sort of. I guess that alerted me to the fact that, you know, that there was women on the independent scene who could, you know, go as well as guys, as opposed to the shit you see on TV.
Hear, hear. And then, finally, when did you first decide that, hey, I want to fly over to the United States for a women's professional wrestling show? What was your first trip like?
Well, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I actually didn't used to like flying before that. It wasn't that I was like scared of flying, but I used to get kind of ill, and I'd avoided it for a while since I went to New York with my college. That was like the last long haul flight I did before going to Cleveland in April 2012. I think it was April 2012. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Like, I tended to spend my weekends staying in the town I live in and not spending a whole lot of money. And I guess I had some money going spare, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I just decided I was going to do it. The atmosphere of AIW kind of appealed to me. It seemed more like what I was into over here, so I don't know. I guess that's what made me take the jump and do it.
I actually thought like your first trip to the U.S. was for Shimmer. I didn't know it was for AIW. I mean,
no, it was for AIW.
Yeah, wow. I mean, what about the AIW card drew you into flying over here to Cleveland? Which is like unheard of from anyone from England to fly over to Cleveland for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We don't even get direct flights to Cleveland either from anywhere in Europe at all, so you're always looking at sort of a 15, 16-hour journey to get to Cleveland. Like, you just can't get there. Like, no one flies to Ohio from anywhere in Europe, so that kind of made it even crazier. I flew to Detroit, I think, and like ended up like on a connection like 45 minutes after I landed, and like running around. First time in America by myself was, you know, running between terminals somewhere in Detroit, frantically trying to get on a plane to Cleveland. So,
and that was also the weekend that another fellow from England made his way to Cleveland for the show, and our buddy Gary Oxide. Did you know he was coming, or like was it kind of like a?
I did. I don't think I'd ever met him at that point, despite the fact that he was also English. I don't think I'd ever met him.
Never heard of him online, like posting, "Hey, I'm going to Cleveland too, man. You want to meet up?"
Oh yeah, I think I knew of him from Twitter, but I'd never like met him before or anything.
Man, interesting. And he has not been back since. What a shame. What a shame.
No.
Alright, so let's get more into your traveling. I mean,
yeah.
So you traveled to Cleveland, Chicago. What was your first Chicago trip like for Shimmer?
It was pretty fun. I like Chicago. Chicago is probably one of my favorite it's probably one of my favorite cities in the world, if not my favorite. But the first time I went to Chicago, I didn't really see much of Chicago. We kind of landed, went to the hotel, went to the shows, and went home. So I didn't see much of the city the first time. It was kind of all about the wrestling, which was obviously fun. was pretty cool. Shimmer's always good. There's always a lot of partying afterwards and stuff. So.
I mean, any stories from the after party you would like to share? Any juicy details?
I don't remember the first trip to Shimmer too much, to be honest. There were shenanigans, but I think they were quite generic shenanigans at that point.
No, I'll give you that. How about the second time in Chicago and Shimmer?
The second time would have been after WrestleCon, actually, when I was already in New Jersey, so New York, New Jersey. So, obviously, there'd have been the Shimmer taping, which was at WrestleCon. And then I flew over to Chicago on my own for a couple of days for, like, meeting up with people at the roadway for Shimmer. Yeah, that one got a little bit crazier. I think, I seem to remember, Japanese wrestlers stood on tables, down in drinks, so...
Wait, they stole tables?
No, they were standing on tables.
I was wondering, like, how can they steal a table from...
Anything could happen,
No.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, they are Japanese, so if anything, they could get it done, so...
And to be honest, if someone questioned Ayako Hamada stealing a table, she could, like, kick them in the head or whatever anyway, so...
That's probably true. Yeah, so, I mean, you travel to New York, Cleveland, and Chicago for women's shows. Are there any other places?
Philly as well.
Oh, Philly, yeah, of course, for WSU and... Well,
technically, he's New Jersey, but
no,
it's like 30 minutes ride from Philly, so...
Okay, how was your first trip to Philly like?
That was cool. Again, I didn't see enough of Philly because it snowed and I was staying kind of close to the venue, so I kind of ended up a little bit enclosed because of, like, the shit weather, but that was fun. I mean, that was a double header. That was WSU and CZW, so... It was a 14th anniversary show for CZW. Ironically, I'll be coming back February 2014 for the 15th anniversary of CZW through work, so...
Yeah, I gotta say, that's still an awesome job to be flying. You're getting paid to fly over to the United States.
I'm not getting paid. I don't get paid for it, but, you know, I don't pay for the flight, so...
Well, okay.
Which saves me a bunch of money, but...
Well, still, okay, so your work is paying for a flight for you to come over to the United States to watch CZW and women's wrestling. I gotta say, that's an awesome fucking job.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's worse jobs.
I can tell you about a few of those later on, but... well, okay, so Philly, New York, Cleveland, and Chicago. Do you have a favorite?
Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Because I honestly would have been shocked if you said Cleveland.
I don't mind Cleveland. Like, it was fun the first few times I went to Cleveland. Like, I did the stupid tourist stuff and, like, walked around the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and everything, and that's cool, but, like, I find the more I come to Cleveland, the less there is to do.
Yeah, I'll
Sure,
give you that. I mean, there's like maybe 3 or 4 things you could do in Cleveland. I mean, you can go to Mel. You know, we've done that. Check out maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Maybe, but that's frankly, I find it's kind of BS. You know.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was a good to waste like a couple of hours when I was on my own. So
yeah, I mean, if you have nothing to do, I guess it's all right. Then there's like Art Museum on the east side. It's free and like one of the biggest in the United States if you like art. And really, that's all I can think of.
Cleveland's really... It seemed dead the last time I was in Cleveland. Like, it was the night before we drove to that VOW show. Me and Dave walked around Cleveland, and like the center of the city at night just seemed dead.
Yep, that sounds right.
But
dead, yes.
Like, there's no one around. Like, if you walk around London, like, at that time of night, there's hundreds of people all over the street, and it's like a ghost town in Cleveland. So,
yeah, I'll give you that. It's not the prettiest city to live in, I'll tell you that. So, I mean, do you have any sort of road stories you'd like to share from your trips here to the United States, or maybe even any stories from your time over in the independent scene over there in England? Give us a juicy detail, Ben.
I mean, technically, there's a story from every weekend, but
okay.
Whether or not you're being told, I don't know.
No, you gotta tell it now. Come on, you brought it up.
I mean, the going to VOW was a pretty weird experience. I mean, obviously, my trips to America, I've always been in cities, so that was kind of one of my first experiences, driving into the middle of nowhere and seeing sort of a part of America that I haven't seen before, which was kind of mountains and roads and trees, but...
Rape Dungeon County.
Yeah, Rape County.
And then by the end of the show, Dave, not Dave Mascarella, but English Dave, he referred to it as Indie-tastic.
Yeah, this sounds about right.
Alright, I mean, but any stories you'd like to share overall, and any crazy stories you have to share from your time in the independent wrestling scene?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens at Fight Club Pro in England after the shows are done.
Yeah, you're always telling me about how crazy FCP is.
Yeah, I mean, the shows are pretty crazy to begin with. Like, every match kind of is a cage match at Fight Club Pro to start with. Like, the crowd is standing and everyone's kind of encouraged to drink, and everyone's right up against the cage that surrounds the ring. Everyone hits the cage and goes crazy, so everyone's kind of drunk by the time they leave the show. And then there's a couple of places we go afterwards, and a lot of the time, you know, the people on the show end up coming out as well. So, and, you know, a lot of the imports, I guess, when they come over to England, they don't necessarily get to do that so much. They wrestle on the show, go back to a hotel room or whatever, you know, hit the gym the next day and do the next show. So it's like sort of, I don't know, I guess they get the chance to party at Fight Club Pro as well, which is pretty fun.
But I know there's one import in particular that I know you wanted to share a story about.
Okay, well, there's a couple.
Okay.
I want to say Eddie Edwards. If Eddie Edwards has indeed been signed by WWE, I look forward to the moment where he's on TV, because I can tell people that he ran around a nightclub wearing my Japan flag as like a superhero cape, so...
What?
Yeah. I had like a Japan flag with me one night, and Eddie Edwards decided to wear it as like a superhero cape in a nightclub whilst drinking huge jugs of beer, so...
And he like ran around the whole club with it?
I don't know, you know, he was just like hanging out with Zack Sabre Jr. and stuff.
Alright, that's a juicy detail. Let's get a little more juicier. Any more to tell?
Alright, well, Samurai Dev Soul, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but I guess he's Callisto now. He's another one that might be on TV soon. He's a cool dude, man. He came out partying with us, and I actually spilled beer all over him. It was my first interaction with Samurai Del Sol, which I felt kind of bad about, but he's a cool dude. I guess what you're trying to lead me into here is the Michael Elgin cowboy hat incident.
Yes, I am. Michael Elgin with the cowboy hat. Let's get to it.
Okay, well, there's like a hen party going on. I guess that's the name you give it in America, right?
Yeah.
Hen party, like before a woman gets married, and they're all wearing like sparkly silver cowboy hats, and like they leave the place that we're in, which is called Babylon, and one of them like drops their hat, and like they leave without it. So we pick up this cowboy hat, and like you've met Elgin a few times now, so you know like he's a cool guy, but he can be kind of intimidating at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he's built like a brick shit house, like you wouldn't want to mess with him.
Oh, fuck
so
no.
we're like telling each other to put the cowboy hat on Michael Elgin's head, like just go up to him and put this sparkly silver cowboy hat on his head, and you know, everyone's like, no way, I'm not going to do that. He'll like kill me. He'll give me like an Elgin bomb through a table in Babylon, but someone eventually agrees to do it. So they snatch the hat away, and they walk up behind Elgin, and he turns around just before they do it, and he just takes the hat himself and puts it on his own head. So, yeah, eventually we leave Babylon, and we go to like the only place which is still open, which is a place called James's, and it happens to be like a gay bar, I guess. By the time we go in there, I guess it's not so much a gay bar because there's like, you know, 20 people walk in that aren't necessarily gay, so I don't know, I don't mind going in there because it's somewhere else to drink, it's open late, but Elgin obviously isn't aware of the fact that it's a gay bar, so he walks in there and he's walking around this place, you know, big jacked up Canadian dude with like a tight t-shirt on and a sparkly silver cowboy hat walking around this gay bar. And there's actually a video of it on YouTube.
So he just spends the entire night walking around this gay club with a silver cowboy hat on.
Yeah. And I think the next time he came back, someone actually brought a silver cowboy hat for him again.
And did he put it on again?
I think he did, yeah. There's a picture of me and Elgin whilst he's wearing the silver cowboy hat, and Eddie Edwards is actually photobombing it in the background. So.
No, I swear to God, and I'm pretty sure this month when he comes back to AIW, I'm going to try to find a silver cowboy hat and put it on him. Yes, I will.
Do it. Tell him it's from his friends in Wolverhampton, and it'll make him laugh.
Alright, so... Well, Ben, I mean, so, right now, you're just any other fan like me, you know, you're a fan of professional wrestling, but this, next month, you're venturing into a different territory for yourself. You are gonna be commentating your first show next month. Yeah. So let's go into some more detail about that. Tell us more about the show.
Alright, I mean, I'm pretty excited to be involved in something and able to help out. A promotion is called LCW Roses. It's a sister company of a promotion that already exists. LCW, is sort of based in, kind of basically in the middle of England. You know, not too far south, not too far north, so it's a pretty good location for people to potentially travel to. Yes, it's a different promoter to the LCW show that's going to be running that LCW Roses show, but it's someone that, you know, I'm friends with and I've travelled to shows with before, so he kind of asked me if I was up for doing it, and I said yes, so we'll see how it goes. I guess people might have raised their eyebrows at me being put into a position like that, I guess, seeing as I have no experience of it, but...
Well, you know, if you just go within a positive attitude, you know, I think you'll do just fine. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that any sort of lack of experience I have is made up for by knowledge. Obviously, it's an all-girls show. I see girls that are on the show, a great deal of them work everywhere. I think my knowledge of, like, you know, where they've been, who they've faced, etc., is probably second to no one else in the country almost. So, I mean, well, what I lack in experience, I think I make up in knowledge easily. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's just translating that into the job, but you know.
Yeah, just go in with you go right in and be their Professor Mike Tenay.
Yeah, but less annoying than Mike Tenay, hopefully.
Yeah, the WCW Mike Tenay, not so much today's Mike Tenay in TNA.
Yeah, just like bringing the facts. I might have to wear sunglasses indoors like Taz, though.
Well.
I think that might be my gimmick, so.
At least you have a gimmick, so.
Yeah.
A little bit more about the show. Who's on it? Anyone I might recognize by name?
I mean, we've got Kaylee Ray, who's been to Japan, this year. Obviously doing pretty well for herself. Nikki Storm, who obviously is a past guest on this podcast.
Tell her I said hi.
That was actually my first appearance as well. I think I said a couple of words on that one, so I might be the only ever 2-time appearance.
You might just
so far.
be.
Yeah, there's Rhea O'Reilly, who works at Shimmer as well. We've got Addie Starr, who's obviously living in England now, rather than, you know, Canada or the States. So, already announced is Addie Starr versus Rhea O'Reilly. It's quite an interesting matchup because, you know, there's two people who are quite notorious in the States, but never sort of crossed paths. So that's kind of a first-time match. I've actually been given an announcement by management.
You have a juicy announcement? Alright, I'm ready.
I do. It's an exclusive for the Juicy Details. The first wrestler announced for the co-main event is someone I just mentioned, is Nikki Storm. And the stipulation for the match, well, first let me say, the main event of the show is going to be a Rumble, okay? As of yet, management have yet to determine what the prize for winning the Rumble will be, but I'm informed that it's going to be fairly big.
Is it going to be a spot on the Juicy Details? It could
be.
I mean, how bigger can you get?
Exactly. Yeah, the co-main event, the match before the Rumble, Nikki Storm is going to be in it. As of yet, her opponent or opponents unannounced, but the stipulation is going to be whoever wins the match gets the last entry into the Rumble. Whoever, you know, takes the 4 submits has to enter the Rumble almost immediately after the match as the first entrant.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, there's quite a lot on the line.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, whoever loses that match, I mean, I don't want to say they're pretty much fucked, but you know, they don't have good chances.
No, I mean, obviously they're going to have to wrestle the match and then immediately go in and try and go through another 15 people in a Rumble.
That's insane. Wow. Well, send my best regards to Nikki Storm. Best of luck to her in the match and the event. You know, it was a pleasure to have her on the show.
Yeah, she can certainly talk, so I knew she'd be a pretty good guest.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I look forward to the show when it's out on DVD. You know, I'll be glad to buy a copy just for you, Big Ben Ward.
Yeah, fingers crossed I'll be able to bring them across. I don't know if it'll be out in time for when I come to New Jersey for WSU and CZW, but definitely by Shimmer I'd expect to be able to bring some copies across for people.
Definitely. Sign me up.
Should be fun, man. I'm trying to convince them that, you know, releasing it on MP4 might be a good idea if we can kind of, you know, tap into the American market, because people want to see women's wrestling. You know, American fans are quite rabid, so I think that an MP4 would probably do quite well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's 2013, and in today's age, digital download MP4, that's almost the way to go.
Yeah, why wait 2 weeks for shipping when you can have it in 20 minutes by downloading it?
Yeah, right on. But, the card looks great, and you're commentating, so that's a big bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. The guys I'm commentating with are good guys as well. Like, one of them's a wrestler. He's been to Japan, and stuff. So, he's experienced. I think he's done a bit of commentating for his promotion that he's based at as well. So, and the other guy is, he's been around the scene. He does a lot of announcing, backstage interviewing and such. So, I'm in there with good dudes. It should go well.
Yeah, definitely. And, best of luck to you. I mean, in my 2 matches of commentary, if I can give any advice, it is just have fun with it.
Yeah, both of yours been with Denver, Colorado?
Well, no, the first one was with Aaron Bauer. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Well,
how did that go?
Let's just say I like Denver better. Yeah.
I like how
I like him too.
But I imagine it might be hard to work with.
I wasn't maybe I just wasn't as ready. I mean, that was my first time, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's kind of being thrown in at the deep end.
But, hey, luckily I got to commentate a JT Dunn match. If you're listening, JT, you son of a bitch, you better be listening. Yeah, good match. Well, I would say it's almost time to wrap up. It's pretty late out there in England, so I don't want to keep you awake too much longer. But, anything else you want to say? Anything you want to plug? Go right ahead.
I don't really have anything to plug or sell, man. I mean, people can check out the LCW Roses Twitter. It's at LCW Roses. Pretty basic. Yeah, look it up on Facebook, give it a like or whatever. There's more match announcements coming soon.
And you have a Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Might as well plug it.
Yeah, I mean, alright, it's at KOTDM1988. I post a lot of shit sometimes. I watch Food Network, I watch wrestling, and write about it sometimes, so I might be a bit too opinionated sometimes for some people, but...
I mean, you're English, so I can expect it.
Really? Expect English people to be opinionated?
Yeah, the ones I've met, yeah.
See, normally Americans would think of English people as being all, polite and wouldn't want to say something out of line, and it would be us thinking of Americans as people that would say whatever they wanted to say, but it's interesting that you see it
like I said, it's
the
just
way
from
around.
my experience, so maybe it's totally different, who knows, but...
I guess you tend to meet a lot of drunk English people, so...
Yeah,
that's what makes the difference.
There you go. But yeah, if anyone's listening, go ahead and follow Big Ben Ward on Twitter. At KOTMD...
TDM19.
Death matches, yeah. So, yeah.
It does. A lot of people don't get that, and they can't put 2 and 2 together and work out that's what the KOTDM stands for, but that's what King of the Death
matches. I didn't even
meet
you, and I already knew way back then that, of course, King of the Death matches.
Yeah.
And I like how you're on your Twitter profile right now, it says 25 pro wrestling commentator. Apparently,
apparently so. We'll see how it goes. I might not be a pro wrestling commentator come January the 26th if I mess it up too bad.
You'll be fine. Just think positive thoughts.
I'm sure I will be.
Anything else you would like to say before we sign off?
Not really. Support independent wrestling, I guess.
That's a good message to end with. Well, Ben, thanks for coming on the Juicy Details. Thanks for taking time. Yeah, and
thanks for having me.
For Big Ben Ward and JT Dunn, who's out there listening to this right now, you better be, you sack of shit. My name is Juicy Pat Lucy, and thank you for listening to the Juicy Details.